Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Simply Sierra. In today's video, I want to go ahead and answer the questions that you guys have sent me on NYU. So let's go ahead and get started because I can already tell this is going to be a bit of a long video. Alright, so I went ahead and gathered the questions that you guys have sent me on Instagram and Twitter. LOL, no, not Twitter. I don't have a Twitter. I may do, I never use it. On Instagram and on YouTube. And I kind of just put together the most frequently asked questions into one video, so hopefully I can answer all these questions that in a way that helps you guys and is clear, and I'm just hoping I'm going to do a good job with this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first question I'll answer is, what was the application process like? So I was a transfer student, so I think my application's a little bit different, but it could be the same for like prospective freshmen. But there's a form that you have to fill out online called the Common Application. So anyone who's going into college, they typically fill out that form. So you have to basically, that's a long thing you have to go through and fill out. So I did the Common App, and then they have you write a couple of essays, basically why do you want to be in this school, trying to get to know you a bit better. And there's questions that are silly questions that I actually really like, because it's basically like, what's your favorite food, or who's your favorite artist, what's your favorite book. There are questions like that. Basically, after doing all of the formal paper or typing computer work, then you have to submit your work. So for me, I was applying for the Tisch School of Drama and Acting program, and so I had to submit 2 different videos under a minute or at a minute of, I think, contemporary monologues. It's either contemporary or, now I can't remember, but they're 2 monologues that you have to submit, and I think they have to be different. So for me, I submitted like a comedic one, and then I submitted like a bit of a psycho one, psycho thriller. So I submitted those, and then after that you have a interview. So for me, I'm out of state. I did a Skype interview. And all of this is because I'm out of state too. So if you were an in-state student, you would be having your monologue audition in front of like the people on the stage, but since I was in Florida, I was able to send mine in. So then you have an interview, and mine was via Skype. So I had a conversation with someone who just basically wanted to get to know me a bit better. And yeah, that was basically the process. And then after that, you just, fingers crossed, hope you get it, and wait for that email. The next question was, what are some tips on transferring into Tisch? So some of the tips I have, because I'm a transfer, be yourself. Like, please just be yourself. Do not be the idea of what you think they want. Just be yourself. I kind of laugh at my interview. So I basically was just really honest with the guy I was interviewing with, and I thought, oh my god, so dumb, I should have said something else, and I got in. So tips is be yourself. Don't be the idea of what you think that they want, because odds are they already have it. Next is, are there sororities at NYU? Yes, there are sororities at NYU. There are sororities and fraternities, but they're so different than the average idea of what a sorority is like. I think NYU has the sorority life here isn't as popular. It's not as big a deal. It's not really a thing here. I did want to be a part of it because I did really want to make friends. I wanted to make more friends that were girls, that were interested in the same things I were, and a lot of my friends back at home, like 90% of them were in sororities or are in sororities, and I wanted to be a part of that too. But with my schedule being in acting, being in a sorority was almost impossible because I had no time for even a social life of my own, much less a mandatory social life. So I couldn't do that. But the sorority here are great, and if you're interested in doing a sorority at NYU, I would recommend it because you get a chance to make friends. Just choose wisely. Look at the one that fits right for you. There's the whole fairs that they do where you can go and see which sorority is more your fit. So But if I could do a sorority, I definitely would have, because that sounded fun. Next is dorm life. What is the dorm life like at NYU? It's very different. I like dorm life a lot. So the reason I like dorm life is because I love the amenities that the dorm offers and security and the safety of it all. And I love being surrounded by students. I just wish I lived alone or in my own bedroom, because that part's really hard. So dorm life can be easy and fun, but the space here is very small in NYU, so it can get very crowded and very dirty easily, and that's not something I'm obsessed with. But yeah, I would say dorming here isn't bad at all. There are some halls that do have a bad rep though for roaches, but I guarantee you, and most of those halls are freshman dorms, but that's because freshmen are excited to be outside, not living at home for the first year, and they're a bit messy, can food out, and we live in New York City. You can't really do that and not expect to get roaches. So I've had one roach in my entire experience here at NYU, and I cried. And I immediately said to my suite mates and roommates that we are never leaving dishes in the sink again, because I can't live with that anxiety of the roach. And we never had a roach again, but we were dirty still, so what are you gonna do? Questions were, how did I move in early? I see you guys saw my last, in my vlog about moving in. I got to move in a couple of days early. That doesn't happen for everyone. They're really strict on basically when we email you to move in, you move in. But my mom and her boyfriend at the time, we were here and we were looking at, we just wanted to see where my building was and to see what was surrounded and see if we can get like a sneak peek of how big the rooms were going to be, because we were going shopping for our things at Bed Bath & Beyond. So we were like, we need to kind of get an idea of what we're going to need to buy and how much we can buy. So I walked into the hall, and the girl at the front desk, she was like, basically after talking a little bit, she said, you know, your room is open if you, it's available for you if you want to move in. And I was like, is it really? And they were like, yeah, that we're not telling everyone just yet because we have specific times people can come in, but the few people that are coming in to check out the rooms, we have, if the room is available for them, then they are more than welcome to start moving in right now. And so we're like, oh my god, how perfect. I got my key right then and there, and I was able to see the place, which is why you guys saw me showing you guys around before anyone was there. So that's kind of how I did it. I just asked if I could see the room, and they said it was ready. So that was how I got in. It was no special thing that I did. It was just pure luck. So yeah. If you're moving to NYU and you're here with your family a couple of days early and you want to pop into the dorm, I would just talk to the front desk and see what they say. Okay, the next question was, how did you pack all of your belongings and move to New York? So what we did was I took suitcases. My mom took 2 suitcases full of stuff for me. I took 2 suitcases full of stuff, and her boyfriend at the time took 2 suitcases full of stuff. So we took 6 different suitcases, and we took that on the plane, and then we packed boxes for my bedding and whatnot, because it was like easier to get there. I think I had like 4 or 5 boxes of stuff, maybe less, I don't know. And we shipped that to my dorm here, because you can ship packages, you know, to any resident hall. So that's how I moved everything. I suggest buy everything here though. There's Bed Bath & Beyond, and everyone always does that. That's like the go-to. It's packed. It's actually kind of fun when you have a bunch of people around, a bunch of students buying stuff. So I would recommend bring your necessities, all the belongings that you know you need, but for dorm supplies and things like that, if you don't already have them, don't buy them at home. Buy them here in New York. It's gonna be so much easier for you to move in. Dorm sizes, question mark. So the dorm sizes actually vary based on which hall you are in. The best way to look at the dorm sizes and like the layout plans is if you simply just go on to NYU and you can see like the housing layout. Everything's really small, and except for one of the dorms, Lafayette, which is so far, it's actually in Chinatown. That one's pretty big and actually has wood floors, and it's pretty nice. It's actually nicer than the ones that closer to campus are, but there are a couple that are renovated, like Brittany Hall is a freshman dorm that's renovated, and Gramercy Green, which is a little bit further, that one's really nice too. But every other hall is pretty much the same in decorations and whatnot. So they're all small and they're all compact and they're very college-y. So in my newest place, I have a video. If you see me moving into my first place, you can see that's pretty much like the standard of, I think, a lot of the dorms, and all the appliances are all the same. I'm going to be doing a video showing you my newer place because in the hall that I'm staying at this year, it's a little bit bigger, but everything's pretty much the same as it was in my last place that I was in, which I stayed in University Hall. Next is the biggest thing that you've learned going to college. I think the biggest thing I've learned going to college is patience and a lot about myself, because I feel like being in a place where you're thrown into the mix of being in the concrete jungle or being in the city, you really have to find your foot and your own voice, and it takes a lot because it takes a lot of time, because you're being exposed to so many different things and cultures and whatnot, that it's a really great playground to explore more about yourself. I learned a lot about myself and I've grown a lot, and I'm really, really happy with me being able to break out of my shell more and to become more, I guess, confident in who I am. And patience is because when you're learning to live with other people and other ways of life, it's you have to have patience. Whether it's counting down the days until you leave, or learning that people do things differently than you, and that's okay. The next question is being a transfer student hard? So for me personally, being a transfer student was actually a little difficult. In the acting program, no matter where you come from, when you are transferring into NYU, you get placed in the freshman level acting classes, which is hard because you're surrounded by freshmen and there's only a select few transfer students. Like, there's barely any transfer kids in comparison to freshmen. Like, the transfer group is very small and very selected, so like I'm blessed to even be a part of it. Like, once you get adapted and adjusted, everything will start to flow a bit smoother. So yeah, it's all with the time. All right, and the last question that I think I'm gonna leave us off with is which one have I not answered? We'll leave it off on a real note. What's the hardest part about being in college? And I would say, along with it being the biggest thing I've learned, it's also the hardest thing, is learning who you are, because it's so, everyone's on that journey when we are in school and in a growing process. We're all here trying to figure out who we are and what we're meant to do with this world. And the hardest part about being in college is trying to find that person, because I feel like we give ourselves some sort of time frame of, you have four years, figure it out, and figure it out quick. And I almost think that's wrong. I feel like we're going to continue to figure out who we are as people every single day for the rest of our lives. So the hardest part about that is just knowing who I am right now. So the hardest thing is staying true to yourself and knowing who you are and not letting people affect you negatively, like pushing that BS aside and keeping your eye on the goal. So it's not easy, and it's so hard. It's so hard not to lose yourself and to be let down and to doubt yourself and whatnot. Like, I think everyone goes through that, no matter which school you're at, no matter which field you're in, because this world is a competitive place, and we're all striving for our own success. So with that being said, no matter where you are, no matter what school you go to, I think it's important to always stay true to who you are. And that'll be hard in college. It will be, but you'll learn new things about yourself, and you'll learn how to grow and to be a blossomed you, but never lose the essence of what makes you you. It's so hard to explain. I think I'm the worst person to explain things sometimes, but that's a little advice I'm giving about when you are going to go through the hardest parts of your college career, is to remember why you're here and why you chose this. Remember the end goal. Just always remember that end goal, and work hard and be nice and be humble, and no matter what, just smile and have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun. It's just the time of your life to just have fun with it. Alright guys, so that's going to conclude today's video. I hope I did justice by answering these questions for you. I hope that this is going to help somebody out there, and that I've answered a question and it felt like you've got the proper answer. So yes, like I said, if anyone still has any other questions, please feel free to DM me, inbox me, or send me a message down below. I'd love to read them and answer them for you guys, no matter what it is. If you guys have further video requests, don't forget to send them to me. I'm here. I have time to film. I'm so excited. I love filming. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. So yeah, I love you all. And oh yeah, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I post all the time on there. I'm especially posting all the time on Insta stories. That's my new thing. I'm not really into Snapchat anymore. Like, I'll fairly post on that. So I'm not even gonna bother giving the information out, since Insta stories is actually where it's at. Alright guys, I love you all, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.